Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Audric Cashmere. It would seem this morning that the peaceful routine of Moonhaven Falls has been humorously disrupted as residents discovered a peculiar occurrence. All of the local garden gnomes in town have been removed from their respective yards and relocated to the town center fountain overnight. The unusual sight drew a crowd as citizens awoke to find dozens of the diminutive lawn ornaments congregated near the fountain. In a particularly theatrical display, the now cleaned garden gnome that was dressed as a wizard has been discovered perched atop the fountain itself.
It is certainly a strange sight, but thankfully no damage has been reported,
said Captain Alara Vancroft of the Moonhaven Falls Guard.
We are treating this as a mischievous prank for now, but we want to ensure every gnome is returned to its rightful owner.
Moonhaven Falls residents who own a garden gnome are being asked to visit the Moonhaven Falls Guard barracks to identify and reclaim their missing ornaments. The Guard has secured the gnomes and is ready to facilitate their return. The Moonhaven Falls Guard is also actively seeking information regarding the identity of the person or persons responsible for the Great Gnome Migration. Captain Alara Vancroft has urged anyone with information or leads regarding this incident to contact the Guard barracks immediately.
While this has been a source of amusement for some, moving private property is a serious matter,
Vancroft added,
and we would appreciate any information the community can offer to help us get to the bottom of this whimsical mystery.
More on this later.
Hey, Timmy! My ceramic chalice of caffeinated clarity seems to be gone. I'm on in 10 minutes for the next interview, and I cannot face the public without it.
Your coffee mug is on the table, sir, underneath the latest letter from Lady F.
Ooh.
Smells like a campfire in the rose garden.
The scent of mystery and incrimination. She's now actively hiding my possessions. All right, lay the scroll down. Let me check the top. Timmy, are you sure it's not addressed to me this time?
Nope, still addressed to my favorite and most idle intern, sir. She must know that I am the one who can find your coffee mug, and the cleaning staff puts it away versus leaving it out for you.
All right, let me see it. To Timmy, my favorite, most vital intern at the Moonhaven Falls Crystal Network. From Lady F, still lost in a tower doing her homework. Date,
still no idea, debating how long I've actually been here.
Wow, maybe it's because something bad's happened to her?
Maybe, but if she didn't know the date when she was put in the tower, then we can't expect her to know what the date is now, can we? Alright. Dearest Timmy, I heard your voice, Timmy, that vital spark of the outside world that always seems to cut through the stone. Audric, I committed your request to paper. The question of where I was before requires me to drag up memories I often try to keep locked away, much like this tower keeps me locked up. Since I don't want my captors to know I am talking to you, as they are super strict, I considered what to say, and I realized that I would have been checked on at least once since I started writing to you if they were listening in at all. They haven't. So, since I seem to be outside of your normal range, feel free to read this letter in its entirety. Oh, well, thank you. Before the start of this unfortunate incident involving the tower and its scaly, smoke-breathing security detail, I lived near the top of a great plateau. My family's estate sat at the edge of a cliff overlooking a medium-sized lake near the junction of two large rivers. There is a moderate waterfall where the rivers join the lake, but it sounds as though the Moonhaven Falls are far more grand, and I very much hope to see them one day. No one there is looking for me, as far as I am aware. From my current location, the clearest landmark I recognize is off to the west of me, near the Ghost Iron Peaks of the Dragon's Maw mountain range. To the south there is an ancient ruin sunken into the lake. The tallest of its towers is just visible underwater from the balcony of my tower. When I was first sent to live here, they were talking about draining the lake to access the ruins, but so far they haven't done so. If you can locate the Ghost Iron Peaks or the ruin, you would be incredibly close to where I am now. I know there's another dragon in the area, but I'm afraid I don't know its name, so I guess I must be outside of Ignis's area. Thank you for checking with him, by the way. My studies of the arcane continue, though the texts here are maddeningly vague on escape spells. The dragon, whom I have affectionately named Miss Scales, remains aggressively vigilant, and I desperately hope this information helps you to send proper assistance, as you have sent over the radio. I imagine a proper wizard would laugh at the name Lady F, but it's the only one I have in this terrible place. So, tell me, Timmy, is the annual Harvest Moon Festival held where you're at? Do people still gather to watch the sky lanterns released? Such simple beauty seems 1,000 miles away from this silent, dusty tower. With profound gratitude, and much impatience, Lady F, aspiring wizard, currently still tower-bound. P.S. If you do find me, don't call my dad. I haven't wanted to admit this to you, but I suppose I must. He's the one who put me here, for my safety. Wait, what? Timmy? Timmy, did you hear that? It's not a kidnapping! Her father, he's the villain! He's the one! This whole time we thought we were tracking a damsel, someone who needed to be rescued and returned to her family!
So, still a person who wants to be rescued just from her family.
Well, yes, and now we know that we need to save her from her family. Hang in there, Lady F. I'm going to do some research and get back to you.
Welcome to you, my sultans and sultinas, mercenaries and soldiers of fortune. A greeting to the caravanneers, the bards, and the citizens of all walks of life here in the Lost Realms. Welcome back to Crossroads Chronicles, where we delve into the fascinating and often unexpected collaborations that shape life here in Moonhaven Falls. Today we have a truly unique duo joining us. Please welcome, we have a fascinating individual who communicates through his equally intriguing interpreter. First, let's hear from Zephyr, a phase spider with an entrepreneurial spirit, and his spokesperson, Silk Whisper, a drider, and, as some of our longtime listeners may recall, a student of the esteemed Zel Thar.
Greetings, esteemed host and honored listeners. It is a pleasure to be here, representing the visionary behind Shifting Stitcheries, my associate, Zephyr.
Silk Whisper, wonderful to have you here on Crossroads Chronicles. And Zephyr, though we can't directly understand you, your presence is definitely palpable. Now, Shifting Stitcheries has been causing quite a buzz in the merchant circles. Phase Spider crafted luggage. I mean, it's certainly a novel concept. How did this partnership come to be?
As some may know, phase spiders often find themselves employed in, shall we say, less than stimulating roles, guarding forgotten relics, lurking in dusty tombs. Zephyr here, as astute as he is multi-legged, found such endeavors rather unfulfilling. He yearned for a more creative outlet. He felt his unique abilities, specifically the ability to shift between the ethereal and material planes, could be applied to something more practical, something that could benefit the wider world.
I see, and that something turned out to be luggage.
While observing travelers struggling with cumbersome packs and easily pilfered satchels, Zephyr conceived of a revolutionary design, luggage that could, quite literally, phase out of danger.
That's incredible. Can you elaborate on how it works?
Imagine, if you will, a sturdy, beautifully crafted satchel, spun from the finest spider silk, naturally, and reinforced with carefully chosen natural fibers. Now imagine that satchel, at the first sign of trouble, a grasping hand, a stray arrow, simply vanishes, shifting into the ethereal plane, completely untouchable, only to reappear at the owner's will. Zephyr has developed a method of imbuing the very fabric with a resonance tied to the owner, a specific touch, a whispered word, and the luggage phases seamlessly.
Now that is an unparalleled level of security. No thief could possibly, steal something that isn't even fully in this dimension.
Exactly. The applications are endless if you stop to think about it. Merchants transporting valuable goods, adventurers safeguarding precious artifacts, even nobles wishing to keep their gems secure during travel. Shifting Stitcheries offers peace of mind when you are on the road.
I see. And how did you, Silk Whisper, become involved in this venture?
My previous academic pursuits under Master Zelthar, while enlightening, also instilled in me a desire to bridge understanding between different perspectives. When I encountered Zephyr, guarding a particularly dusty and frankly rather uninteresting scroll, I sensed his dissatisfaction. His clicks and hisses spoke of an untapped potential. I recognized a kindred spirit as well, one whose unique talents were quite frankly being wasted. My understanding of the common tongue, coupled with my nuanced appreciation for the less conventional members of society, made me a natural intermediary. I saw the brilliance in Zephyr's vision, and immediately offered my services.
So you're saying that essentially you're the voice and the business mind behind this operation?
I facilitate understanding and manage the more terrestrial aspects of the business, yes. Zephyr is the artistic and engineering genius. He oversees the spinning of the silk, the intricate weaving process, even the enchanting, as well as the magical imbuing. Psst. He would like me to emphasize the quality of materials and durability of the craftsmanship, even when the luggage is not actively phasing. These are not intended as flimsy, ephemeral items. They're built to last in all dimensions.
Well, now, that is a truly remarkable partnership. What has the reception been like from the wider community? Are people trusting of luggage crafted by a phase spider?
Understandably, there was some initial apprehension. Phase spiders do not have the most sterling reputation, much like weed riders. However, the undeniable security and the exquisite craftsmanship of Zephyr's work really speak for themselves. Word of mouth travels very quickly, especially when valuables remain stubbornly unstolen. Yes, Zephyr, the quality is undeniable, and the peace of mind priceless. Slowly, but surely, perceptions are shifting. People are beginning to see Zephyr as not just a creature of the ethereal, but a purveyor of an exceptional product.
Now that is a testament to the power of innovation, and indeed, effective communication. Silk Whisper, Zephyr, it has been an absolute pleasure having you here on Crossroads Chronicles. Shifting Stitchery sounds like a game changer for travelers everywhere. For those who are interested in acquiring their own phase-shifting luggage, where can they find you?
We are currently operating out of a discreet workshop in the less trafficked alleys of Meadow Vale. Just look for the sign depicting a shimmering satchel, and perhaps bring a generous offering of particularly plump insects for my associate. He says it fuels his creative processes.
Noted. That was Silk Whisper, interpreter for the ingenious Zephyr of Shifting Stitcheries. We'll be right back after a short break with more tales from across the realm, so don't go anywhere.
Please, gather round, adventurers and townfolk alike. Let the crystal-powered airwaves carry this vital message across the lands. Are you tired of blades that chip like stale bread? Armor that will buckle under a goblin sneeze? Do your tools leave more to be desired than a dragon's sword? Then listen closely, friends, for your woes are about to be hammered into history. This is your friendly neighborhood broadcast, bringing you word of Oxiana's Impressions, the finest forge this side of the Blackwood Forest. Located right here in Moonhaven Falls, Oxiana's Impressions is where Master Smith Oxiana Stoneheart and her skilled apprentices work tirelessly, day and night, fueled by courage, curiosity, and a passion for perfect craftsmanship. Whether you're a brave warrior needing a blade that sings in battle, a cunning rogue seeking lockpicks that whisper secrets, or a diligent farmer requiring tools that won't break your back, even a discerning mage needing precisely crafted arcane components, Oxiana's Impressions has you covered. We specialize in weapons of an unmatched quality, from gleaming swords and sturdy axes to finely balanced bows and piercing spears. Armor that can defy dragons, crafted from the finest steel, mithril, and even dragon scale if you've got it. We have tools for every trade, reliable hammers, sturdy shovels, precise calipers, and everything in between. We also do custom commissions. Do you have a unique design in mind? Oxiana and her apprentices love a good challenge. Bring in your sketches, your dreams, and your finest materials. We're also experts at repairs and sharpening, so don't let your trusty gear fall to disrepair. We will bring it back to its former glory. And for a limited time, mention you heard this broadcast on the Crystal Airwaves and receive a 10% discount on your first purchase, a free sharpening on any blade, and a complimentary enchanted oiling for your armor. So don't delay. Head on down to Oxiana's Impressions in Moonhaven Falls today. You'll find quality that lasts longer than a dwarf's grudge and service as warm as our forge. That's Oxiana's Impressions, where metal meets mastery.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We here at Moonhaven Falls have received the following notice, and I quote, "From the desk of Ignis, scaled sophisticate, the Horde's custodian, the fiery intellect, for immediate release. Ignis to recalibrate the trials of the triumphant mind after an unexpected challenger. A most energetic experience," says the dragon. 1 month after the unveiling of his intricate trials of the triumphant mind, Ignis, the legendary dragon, has issued an addendum to his previous announcement. Following a highly unconventional challenge, the dragon has confirmed that future trials would feature enhanced scalability to accommodate for a broader spectrum of adventuring talent. With our interest piqued, our very own Timmy Thistlewick set out to get the story straight from the dragon's mouth, and found Ignis more than happy to recount the astonishing events of the past week.
Frankly, Timmy, it was not what I anticipated. I envisioned seasoned veterans, grizzled mages, perhaps even a rogue or two with an inflated sense of self-worth. What I received was Barnaby the Barbarian.
Barnaby is 10, isn't he? I've run into him a lot around town.
Yes, and he was accompanied by a rather eloquent adult named Gary. Barnaby was clad in what appeared to be a slightly oversized tunic and was wielding a stick as he declared his intent to face the trials.
Did you have to make any changes to your trials to accommodate him?
Yes, I had to perform significant recalibrations on the fly. The shifting sands maze was, shall we say, simplified. One simply cannot expect a 10-year-old to navigate complex temporal paradox. Gary, the adult, seemed quite approving of my swift adjustments, even remarking that it was good to see me adapting because growth is important.
Gary does want to make sure his kids stay safe, mostly.
Well, the trials proceeded with Barnaby exhibiting a surprising tenacity. He managed to bypass several parts of the riddle of the obsidian pillars, not through deduction, but through sheer unadulterated enthusiasm and a rather loud rendition of a dwarven drinking song.
That does sound a lot like Barnaby.
Well, the climax arrived at the Vault of Echoes. After several minutes of Barnaby attempting to open the magical gateway with enthusiastic shoulder charges, the young barbarian unleashed his secret weapon, prestidigitation. It's a minor illusion, and he formed one of a glittering, oversized gold coin hovering just beyond the vault doors. It was unexpected. I hadn't accounted for a simpler con, you see, this childlike trickery in my high-level intellectual defense protocols. It didn't help that the magic wasn't settled properly after my adjustments either. Barnaby was so focused on his illusion and the thought of getting it inside of the vault, well, it just opened to let him do so. Honestly, it shouldn't have worked. Certainly won't in the future, but, well, I mean, he got it open. That has to count for something, right?
Yes, it does.
And with a triumphant cry, Barnaby succeeded in opening the vault. His reward? A single gold piece.
That's awesome.
Barnaby was practically levitating. I will likely remember his triumphant cry for longer than he'll live, but, well, after I handed it to him, he proclaimed, "A whole gold piece. I'm going to buy a sweet roll every day for a month." And that Gary fellow merely nodded sagely, saying, "Excellent financial planning, Barnaby."
That sounds like it was a good challenge for the both of you.
It was invigorating. Truly, my intellect was challenged in ways that I had not previously considered. Future applicants can expect the trials to be both rigorous and perhaps occasionally suitable for slightly less experienced challengers, but rest assured, my sharp wit remains untarnished. Merely slightly more diversified now.
The trials of the triumphant mind remain open. Applicants over the age of 12 are now highly encouraged, but not strictly required. Ignis has also reportedly begun working on a new wing of trials, far removed from the physical mazes and verbal riddles of the first round. His latest project is rumored to be a test that pits the adventurers not against magic or might, but against their own memories and perceptions. The trial of subjective truth will require challengers to navigate a series of personalized illusions, where their greatest fears and most cherished memories are used as both path and peril. The true objective will be to discern what is real from what is remembered, and to choose between the comfortable lie and the painful truth. The dragon, who calls this his existential phase, intends for the test to be a psychological gauntlet. If they can't trust their own eyes, how can they possibly hope to outwit a dragon? Ignis was overheard musing. A beautiful symmetry, the ultimate prize for facing the ultimate internal conflict. It is expected to be implemented late next quarter, pending the acquisition of several barrels of pure, concentrated nostalgia.
This is Audric Cashmere with the Moonhaven Falls Crystal Network.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes our episode for the week, and I hope you found it engaging, enjoyable, amusing, and even a little captivating. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you could please pop on over to Facebook or Patreon and let me know what you enjoyed and didn't enjoy. We have officially crested 500 downloads as of 3 a.m. Monday morning here, and it has left me a little giddy, knowing that you followed me thus far. That said, I could really use some feedback, especially from those of you who've listened to a couple of my episodes. What episodes do you want to see more of? Which ones can quietly go away? Knowing what my listeners like or dislike is invaluable to me in determining how this show is going to progress, so some direct feedback would be wonderful. Also, if you could take a moment to rate the podcast, maybe share it with a friend or a community and leave a comment with your thoughts, I would appreciate it. Spreading the word about my weekly episodes would also be a great help to me personally. I do put out a new episode every Tuesday morning at 5 a.m. Eastern. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, follow the podcast. If you hop on our Facebook page, we usually drop a note on Facebook when the new episode drops as well. If anyone wants to directly invest in the future of the work, please explore the community on Patreon. I personally write, edit, and produce all the content for the show, and if you want to buy me a cup of coffee a month as encouragement to continue doing so, believe me, I happily accept. Thank you to all of our new and returning supporters, and I look forward to seeing all of you in the next episode.